How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yes, good to see you.
Listen, oh my word, the last time you spoke, you shared, well, a little bit of your testimony, and I can only imagine that this is really just kind of the tip of the iceberg in terms of your life story. But thank you for sharing that. There was a few things that really stood out to me. I think you started the conversation that you said joy is an energy. For me, that was interesting. And then you referred a few times to money, and yeah, you know that I love talking about money, but it was interesting for me how many times you kind of made the connection between how it was going with you to money. That was and what it, yeah, how money had an effect on what you were feeling and where you were, the lack, having it or not having it. But it was interesting for me. Then you also said something for me that was really, really interesting, and you said you had people but you didn't have joy. And I think because the kind of person that you are, the extrovert, you know, people can sometimes kind of feel like they are the feeling of joy, and we feel like, but it's not actually joy. So that for me was really interesting. And then you also made a comment about joy and creativity that goes hand in hand. You know, when you got the joy, there was creativity. But anyway, that was just some of the stuff from last time that really just blew my mind, and I made some notes. But yeah, let's continue this time around. So you had to make a decision. You had to decide, hey, I need to find joy in this circumstance, in this place where there's nothing else. So yeah, please, yeah, continue on the journey on how did you do that. But also, I think what for me is interesting is how do you define joy, and what does joy look like? Because I think that for me is the biggest question. What is, you know, it's not happiness, it's not jumping up and down, it's not that bubbly feeling, but what does joy look like for you, and how did it look like for you in that starting the journey?
Right, yeah. It's not, there's no, for me, there's no definition. So this is joy. What it is for me is the wholeness of a being, the wholeness of who I am, and not where I am or what I have. It is that naked thing, whether you use so randomly, naked and unafraid. And I don't think they really know what they say, but that is the confrontation. I'm naked. I don't have anything. Why do I have joy? And why should I have joy? And that for me came with the acknowledgement for myself, who and what I am. The person that I am, walking out this door and communicating and experiencing people. How do I experience people? Because the way you see people, the way you perceive people, what you think about them is a true reflection of yourself. So that critical spirit I had, that division I had between right and wrong and polarization and the scandalizing, I had to work on that. It was not something that I got out of bed and it disappeared. I had to make notes and say, listen, this is what you're doing. This is what you're not supposed to do that. Not because it's right and wrong, because of the influence it had on my inner being, on who I was. And I wanted to be me, the authentic, created being of me. So I started by focusing on my words, my energy, because I realized that I attract people, but I also nail them when I think they're not right. And I had to go into this micromanagement of my thoughts and my words. And I had to start to change that into positivity, but real. I never allowed falsehood in my life, never. And I thought the honesty with what I criticized was righteousness. I made my own religion. I lived my own religion. Okay, but I'm very honest. At least I'm honest, you know. At least I don't do that. You know, I had that thing. Right. So that's where I started.
Sorry, I just want to jump in there, and I absolutely love your transparency on that, because that is, there's nobody who can't raise their hand and say, hey, you know, I have created my own little right and wrong, you know, scale,
Yes.
you know, and if you are right enough, you know, if you're above the 5, then I'm going to love you in this way, and if you're below the 5, I'm going to love you in this way. So we all have that, you know, kind of righteousness meter. But anyway, I interrupted you, sorry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right with that. And the other thing I started doing is not to refer to them and us. I had to individualize myself. I made a choice because I am a very strong individual person. I would never, or I try not to refer to, yes, but we all do that. No, we don't all do that. I don't know what you guys do. I do it. So I cannot put you in the kraal with the sheep where I am at. I'm my own sheep, you know. So, and the moment you individualize yourself, you take responsibility. I realized that if I say I struggle with this, it becomes my reality. But if I say, yes, but we all struggle with this, oh, that's so easy. Just let it slide, because it's unanimous, you know. We all do that, so I don't have to change it. I have to work it because we all do. We all come from this. So I stopped that completely. I do get, I catch myself that I don't, but all right. So I did that, and then I created, I didn't create, I went into myself and say, what do I like? Do I like to go to a coffee shop? Do I like to walk, go for walks? Do I like to go to a park? I had to define certain things. I like to go to a gym, not because I'm this conscious bodybuilder, but it's a happy place for me. I work on myself, I discipline myself, and there are like-minded people there. And because I talk easily, it was a point of connection for me. And in that point of connection, I changed my mindset about the person in front of me. Is he what I expect him to be? No, but where is the gold in this person? That 90% that I don't agree with, just let it fly. That 1% that I do agree with, focus on that and bring that out. Because that brings the same thing out in me. There was my point of joy. The seed started to grow again, because God is a little bit more into the people business than sheep farming or cattle or horses or cats and dogs. Those was very comfortable and interesting, but he's into the people business. And I know it's a universal truth, but the moment I grasped it into physical reality of how do I spend time with people? What do I say to them? How do I make them feel? It was like I could feel the joy inside my physical body. I realized it was energy, it was a frequency. And they reacted to my frequency. And it became stronger and stronger. And the thing is with joy, when you walk away from the situation where you experience the physically joy, you still have it. You maintain it because it's true. This is who you are. That frequency comes into line with God's frequency, His Spirit inside of me. Those two are in sync now. Then you live in joy.
I'm quiet because I'm taking it in. Sorry, my mind kind of got stuck where you said that the 90% that I don't like, just let it slide, but focus on the 10%. And I think it's you always said, you know, just focus on what you focus on, because that is what you become. And it is that, you become what you behold. And if I focus on the 10% in you that I enjoy and the 90% in you that I don't enjoy, which is a little bit off balance, but then because I am seeing the 10% of you that I see is actually the reflection of me in me, and then I need to continue to focus on that, and that will have a natural effect of creating joy and vibration in my life. But now we get so stuck on the 90% that we kind of totally forget about the 10%, and that's when the joy flows out the door.
Yes, And also what I did before, if there was not 90% that I like, I just avoid the person because he's not good enough. And that reflected the rejection of myself. I rejected myself in that, but I didn't realize it until I changed it. I turned it around. It was not easy. If I sit here and tell you, listen, just accept the 10% and focus on that. It's not easy because my nervous system is not used to that. My nervous system goes into default to say, reject, reject, reject. Now I have to train my nervous system to create something differently that says, this 10% is important enough for me to have a chat, to help, to accommodate, and not to reject. It's a new pathway that you have to create in your nervous system. Otherwise, you're going to default.
Okay. What I'm hearing is that you're saying that joy is my choice.
100%. 100%. And it does not manifest itself. Will not knock on your door and say, I'm here, let's have joy. It's something that the seed is there because Jesus, the Spirit is there. You just have to live with that and make it more and make your vibration more and make it a positive vibration in the sense that I love the person in front of me. I like him enough to say, I really love and care for you. That breaks open. That breaks the door to joy. And then comes peace with that, because then the critical thing is gone. The polarization is gone. That gives you, the moment you start to polarize and to criticize, you put negative pressure on yourself. And then you feel kind of out of whack. You don't know why, but because of that, you feel out of whack. And your body reacts to that because it's not a peaceful thing you're doing. You're going upstream now. You're in a stream, you turn your boat around, and I'm going upstream because I like it that way. Turn it, go with the 10%, go downstream, and you will see how it grows.
Wow. Okay, so one of our conversations before is, and sorry, I'm processing a bunch of stuff that you're saying just in my own life, but I think one thing I said to you before is, for me, my default is kind of when something happens in my life, and it is it first people or is it a situation, but my default kind of is to go back to the disappointment part of who I am. And what I've realized at other people is also their defaults to go back to the trauma, and the trauma and the disappointment kind of goes hand in hand. But now what I'm hearing you say is, it is my choice. Okay, and I think that is where we need to learn, and we're probably going to get into that a little bit, in one of the next sessions. But now the importance is to learn how to discern when something comes in, that I have a choice. That is, is I have a choice to discern, do I want to spend my energy on the 10% of the situation? Or sometimes, if I have to be honest, sometimes it feels like the disappointment is 99%. Like there's really no hope, but there's that 1% that might still have a little bit of hope, and that I should rather spend my time on the 1% that can at least kind of ignite joy again, and spend my energy on that instead of kind of tapping from the 99% already. And that reminds me again of Kirby that says that we only see 1%. So at least if you want to see just 1%, see the joy part of it. But that is, so sorry, I'm just, anyway, any comments on that?
Yeah, you're right. What I would suggest, if this is a struggle, say for instance, the person is there and it's really hard, I would say, take a step back, take a walk, and generalize. Don't focus, okay, 10% is good, 90% is bad. Generalize the person as a creation of God. That you don't block anything then. You just take a soft gaze. Like can we say, take a soft gaze. Take a soft gaze and just generalize until you can find yourself in a space where you can really see the 10%. And if you still can't, don't get despondent and say, okay, but I can't do it. Then rather go back to someone that's got 50% and focus on that before you confront yourself with the 10% person again. Because the 10% person will not disappear. They're there for a reason, and that's for us.
Amen. Okay, I want to throw a question out there. What does joy look like? Is it a feeling? Is it something that I should be feeling in my body? Is it a bubbly, happy, woohoo? I don't know. What does joy look like in that 10%, or me not looking at the disappointment? What am I looking for? How do I identify that this is actually joy?
I would say you going downstream and you're in sync with the spirit, and your frequency is where it's supposed to be when you find you walking in a way that says, I really like myself. I'm good enough. I'm okay. I am who I am because I like to be who I am. And you find that your body will react to that. It will honestly react to that. Sometimes I feel as if I levitate a bit, but it just happens. My thoughts comes into my nervous system. My nervous system feeds the creativity, and that manifests into a reaction in your body that says, yes, I'm going downstream. And it's not something that you have to interact with people. You must actually mainly be on your own and experience that. You will fall off your plate. Thoughts come, but just relax. Generalize your thoughts and say, okay, for me, I can say when dark times come, they do come. I generalize in a way, so I'm safe, I'm warm, I have food, I have friends, I have a motorbike that I prayed for, I can do certain things. And when I start to rehearse that, I can feel how I change, how the joy starts going, taking back the space inside myself. It's not something that you can grasp like this cup. It's your inner being that is like, yes, I like life. I enjoy life because of who I am.
Okay, you spoke about joy and peace earlier. And to me, I know peace very well. And it feels to me like what you explain now might very well be peace. So what is the difference? No, what is the difference between joy and peace?
For me, it's very much the same thing. Because if I have peace with who I am, I will have joy with who I am. Because then I'm not critical about myself. I'm happy with who I am because I do it downstream. I'm positive. I like spending time on my own. I enjoy the way people see me, because that's a reflection of who I am, the way they see me. And I'm happy with that. I have joy because of that. My body feels good because of that. I have an energy inside of myself because of that. And that's also peace. Peace is not this, I'm going to go to sleep now.
Okay, one last question before we wrap this one up. I think what I'm thinking, what I'm hearing is, so who I am. You said in the beginning when you said this is joy is having understanding and knowing that wholeness of who I am. Are you saying that is accepting all the baggage, all the trauma, all the other stuff, that 99%, because hey, that's also part of who we are? Is that having an acceptance of that and not polarizing that? Is that when we get to that place of having joy? Or are we trying to get rid of all that stuff to have joy?
No, we can't have joy only because then it's conditional. I will have joy if I have money. I will have joy if my clothes are better. I will have joy if I don't have this hang up. I will have joy. Then there's a condition. Then you put yourself into a completely negative frequency. You accept yourself because healing comes from within. And the joy's got the ability to push out everything that does not belong there. Everything that's in the space of joy will be pushed out, and you can work on that. But you must be able to be in a space of joy because you can't recognize the block in the pipe if there's no flow. And the flow is the joy. Then you say, oh, there's a block. I'm still in joy. There's a block. Let me work on that. Sort that out. The pipe gets bigger. The flow gets stronger.
Thank you. I love this. Oh my word. Okay, well, I'm going to think a little bit about this. Thank you so much. And let's continue this conversation again. We will pick it up next time around with some practical. How do we sit? And I think today was already very practical. Is look at people differently, find that you identify with in a person, and make that connection or in a situation. But yeah, next time when we connect, let's talk about practical. How do you do it? I know you like getting on your bike and all of that, so let's get there. But thank you, Talanie. This is such a blessing. See you again soon.
Thank you, Marie. See you another time.